is going on, YouTube? Welcome back to another YouTube video of mine. I know I haven't been posting for around three to 4 weeks, I think, but now we're up to 59 subscribers, so we're doing good. I think last time I checked we were at 54. And the one video that has been blowing up is the off-road minivan video that I made, where I pretty much showcase this off-road minivan that has a 6-inch lift kit, which is not impressive at all. But yeah, it's at 600 views right now, and most of my channel's content gets around 60, I would say. So it's pretty good that I can reach around 600 viewers from that one video and actually gain 5 subscribers. So without further ado, I will start trying to upload regularly. And I know I've said that before, but I really feel like now, since I have no more college going on at the moment, I think that I can ramp up my speed to around, I want to do a YouTube video every day, but I'm not sure how that will work. But I haven't been posting this last 3 weeks just because finals and all these other crazy things keep happening in my life. But without further ado, let's get into today's video about the Opel Manta that got a full resto mod, a full electric resto mod actually, that has 125 miles of range. Now with a 147 horsepower motor, it doesn't seem like a lot because you know you have Dodge Demons that have upwards of 700 horsepower. But this car is pretty tiny for its size. It's an average, coupe, and it was a Europe market car. And you don't see too many Opels around America where I'm from, but you do see them a lot in Europe and other countries like Poland and whatnot. And it was sold in the US actually for 4 years, but there's not too many in the US currently right now at the moment. So with this, it's basically titled the Manta GSe Electro Mod, which is not a very cool name at all, if I may say so myself. But maybe incorporate some electric thing like Ford did with the Ford Lightning or whatever. But whatever. And in fact, Opel just made this resto mod just to kind of show off what they could do, and they have no plans to actually manufacture one, which is kind of sad to see that, because with all these electric conversions happening with all the cars and the electric market really taking over the gas market, you want to see newer or older brands get revived and really show what they had at one point. Because I'm a fan of old cars, and I really think that, the Opel Manta is one of those kind of weird cars, but it's also cool, and it's not too weird that no one likes it. With this being said, the Manta A, which is a pretty well-known model for the Manta, the prices have been on the rise, just like pretty much any other classic car at the moment. And it has pretty much a cult following, which is kind of weird considering that, it was only sold in the US for 4 years, and even though the brand's still popular in Europe, it's not like super popular, I wouldn't think. But it really does have a cult following, and people love this car. And I'll show a picture of the back taillights right now, and those taillights look awesome. They look like the Nissan Skyline, but just, they're just round circles, and they're just really cool. I love that design on any car. With the one-off Manta that they made, getting a, full restore in terms of EV and taking out the whole gas engine, that made it actually lighter, and smaller and lighter cars will go fast even when it only has 147 horsepower that this engine is capable of. But considering that the original Manta was fitted with, it says right here, 1.2, 1.6 and 1.9 liter 4-cylinder engines, it's not that impressive if you look at it, because 4 cylinders don't make a lot of power. So with this being said, the 60 and 105 horsepower don't have much to say for back then, because it wasn't really fast back then, but I mean that was what average cars were pushing back then. But when you get to the 147 horsepower mark with this car that was originally fitted with a max of 105 horsepower, you really get to see that there's some improvement, and this car is capable of more power. And in fact, the top of the line GTE model was actually rated at 117 miles per hour, which, I mean, that's considering the 105 horsepower. So maybe this new one will go 130 maybe. And it took around 11 seconds for the 0 to 60 sprint. So I would think that it's sub 10 seconds right now, considering the upgrade in power and that it's EV, which also makes it lighter. So it claims that the power is transmitted to the rear wheels through a 4-speed manual transmission. So just like the old one, because all those older cars were stick shift. And apparently you can just leave the car in 4th gear, which I find very weird, but I mean, normally you're supposed to go 1, 2, 3, 4, shifting through the gears, but I guess you can just leave it in 4th with this one. And it says that it has 188 pound-feet of torque, and it renders the first 3 gears strictly optional, which is very interesting considering that cars, have to go through the gears normally. So this Opel, we only have one picture of it, and it's in this kind of fluorescent greenish yellow color that almost looks like a wrap, which it might be, I'm not too sure at the moment. But it says it has a 31 kilowatt battery pack, which can be recharged at 9 kilowatts. Limits range to a modest 125 miles, which is nothing compared to a Tesla right now. But I mean, what can you expect from a one-off Manta that's never going to be produced ever again? And this weight is only around 2,500 pounds. So it's very light compared to, you have a Chevy Tahoe that's above 6,000. So you can do a lot with this car that you couldn't do with any other car, considering that it only has 147 horsepower. So it says that these run on 195 40R17s in the front and 205 40R17s in the back, which is not the stock setup that the Manta had originally, but it provides way more grip than, the original factory tires that were on there before. So they didn't spare anything with this resto mod at all. The only thing that they did totally gut was the chrome bumpers in the front and back, which I think make it a lot cooler than what it was before in stock form. They also did not change the glass and paneling at all, which I find relatively weird, because I feel like you might want to change the old glass, but I mean, if there's nothing really wrong with it, I don't see a problem with it. They say the quad headlights make way for Opel's current headlight style, and the quad tail lamps are replaced with LED units. So this is, pretty similar, because now, you switch from the halogen bulbs that older cars had. Like, I don't know, the only example I could use is my old car. But now you're replacing them with LED units, which are much stronger in light, and, you can actually see what's ahead of you. So that's pretty good. It also has a black hood. I'm not sure if that's wrapped at all, but it looks like the whole car is kind of wrapped, because no one would really paint a car kind of this electric green color. And it apparently, the black hood was a signature for their sporty models, which I get, taking Back to the Future. I totally get that. And the visor that takes place of the space on the grille can display messages such as the slightly cringeworthy "I am on zero emission." So I think this is kind of weird, because I wouldn't really want a banner to display messages like "I am on zero emission," because you already see all the Teslas with the no gas license plate or anything like that, and it's just, why show off? It doesn't really matter. And with that, a full Restomod would not be a Restomod without a full digital display, which they have. And they claim to have ultra-futuristic display panels. And it has no airbag in the steering wheel, which, is normal for sports cars that, are meant for sports and sports only. And it's also touched off with Alcantara, which I really love. And you know, Alcantara is just a little touch of leather that you just love and you cannot get over. Um, but yeah, with that being said, that's pretty much all they've done with that Opel Manta. There's no price on it. There's no anything because it's really just a one-off from Opel, just to show what they can do with their electric cars and that they, you know, they might still be in the game. With that being said, today I know it's just a quick video and you might not want to see the Opel Manta, but I think it's pretty cool because I'm interested in old cars and I just saw this pop up on my feed, and this Opel Manta looks amazing in that green with the black hood, and all the interior pictures, which I'll show just in probably a slideshow at the end. With that being said, thank you guys for watching the video if you did in its entirety. If not, I totally understand because maybe I'm a little boring. But if you made it to the end of the video, just comment what your favorite Opel model is. There's not many really to choose from because they're all kind of crappy in my opinion, unless, you know, you go with the older ones, then they're kind of nice. But yeah, if you made it to the end of the video, make sure to click that subscribe button, turn on post notifications. It really helps me out because it really helps me keep motivated to make this content, and I really like providing car content to you guys.